Decades ago, Buffalo Springfield iconically wrote and sang, "There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear." Many years later, there is something happening in Bridgeport, Connecticut. But in this case, what's happening is very clear. Whether what's taking place is defined as a renaissance, rebirth, or revitalization, it's abundantly obvious that Bridgeport, Connecticut's most populous city, located 60 miles from New York City, is currently being transformed into a most compelling place to either live, locate a business, visit, or invest. And while considerable credit for the uplifting changes taking place in Bridgeport can and should include local government officials, community leaders, private industry, and investment, perhaps even greater influence can be attributed for this remarkable metamorphosis taking place in Bridgeport to an unmistakable trend becoming increasingly more evident across North America. This unquestionable trend is how real estate consumers of all generations, from baby boomers to millennials, are displaying a pronounced preference for living in pedestrian and transportation-friendly communities amidst a broad range of career and cultural opportunities, and where diversity and social range are celebrated. To these future-looking real estate consumers, how one can settle for anything less ain't exactly clear. This ever-emerging lifestyle preference trend is also revealed in the statistic that, for the first time since 1920, urban areas are growing faster than the suburbs. This explains why Bridgeport is not only becoming a greater magnet for those looking to rent, own, and get more real estate for their dollar than other Fairfield County alternatives, but also it is becoming more appealing for businesses, developers, and investors. This Town Advisor Real Estate Town documentary, produced in collaboration with widely respected local real estate professional Ben Sinnott of Camelot Properties, will now reveal what Ben, from his deep expertise regarding Bridgeport real estate, considers to be the top 10 compelling reasons to make Bridgeport either your residential or commercial home, or both, for years to come. 1. Bridgeport, Park City. Bridgeport is also known and celebrated as Park City. The combined influence of none other than Frank Olmsted, considered to be the father of American landscape design, and P.T. Barnum, our country's most legendary zoologist, has eternally shaped Bridgeport's destiny as arguably representing the single greatest commitment to park development and preservation of any city its size in the entire world. One renowned example is the city's ecological splendor that can be found in luminous Seaside Park. Seaside Park, boasting approximately 325 acres of meandering lawns, shady glades, and recreational fields along the sea, to many is peerless. Seaside Park, timelessly conceived by Olmsted and additionally refined by P.T. Barnum, ensures to this day and moving forward that the park represents the interests and vast activity pursuits of walkers, joggers, and cyclists, and also for those who wish to fish, picnic, or merely throw a frisbee, which, unsurprisingly, was first produced in Bridgeport, as one could not imagine a better venue to throw a frisbee than within this fun-filled environmental paradise. 2. Beardsley Zoo. Continuing to validate the city's claim as ranking among the world's most park-friendly cities is the Beardsley Zoo. James Beardsley, a wealthy Bridgeport farmer, donated 100 acres to the city in 1878, with the stipulation that this precious land would always be maintained as a public park. Here again, Bridgeport today benefits from the influence of Olmsted and Barnum, as Olmsted, who designed Central Park, was also retained to design Beardsley Park. Beardsley Zoo was significantly aided by P.T. Barnum and the animals from his world-renowned Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus, and Barnum's decision to make the zoo the home for the circus animals. Connecticut's only zoo is a favorite of Bridgeport residents and routinely used for birthday and other meaningful celebrations and events, and hosts programs that promote conservation. 3. St. Mary's by the Sea. Bridgeport is a city that provides its present and prospective residents with a selection of 70 neighborhoods, one of which, the St. Mary's by the Sea community, is absolutely considered one of the East Coast's most enchanting locales. St. Mary's by the Sea, while serving the lifestyle needs of its privileged residents, is also a favorite focus due to its unique ambiance for those seeking to absorb the commanding views of the sea while strolling along the London plain-treed and gas lantern-lined coastline pathways adjacent to the passing ships and lighthouse that make the experience so memorable, and one that cries out to be oft repeated. Editor's note. And who better to describe and extol the eternal elegance of Seaside Park than Barnum himself, who wrote, "When the hand that now pens these lines is stilled forever, and those thousands look across the water to Long Island shore, and over the groves and walls and drives of beautiful ground at their feet, it may be a source of inspiration and pride to my posterity to hear the expression of gratitude that possibly will be expressed to the memory of their ancestors who secured to all future generations the benefits and blessings of Seaside Park." 4. Webster Bank Arena. Another stellar example of how Bridgeport capitalizes on the enviable Fairfield County seaside location is the placement of the Webster Bank Arena along the harbor and close to Route 95. This 10,000-seat multi-use arena stands adjacent to the ballpark at Harbor Yard and, together, makes for one of Connecticut's most impressive sports and entertainment venues. Webster Arena provides Bridgeport residents, and those throughout the region alike, the opportunity to take in American Hockey League action, UConn men's and women's basketball, both of whom are currently NCAA champs, NHL and NBA exhibition games, and concerts where the likes of Elton John have regaled the local citizenry. The arena also serves as home for Fairfield University's men and women's basketball and for tournament games for the highly competitive Division I MAAC Conference. Another example of the arena's importance to the Bridgeport community can be found in the central role that the Webster Bank Arena plays in the annual Park City Sports Fest, sponsored by People's United Bank. 5. The ballpark at Harbor Yard. For those who want to enjoy catching a ball game without traveling to New York's Yankee Stadium or Citibank Field, then you can enjoy America's so-called pastime either individually or with your family at the ballpark at Harbor Yard. Honored in 2009 as the Atlantic League Park of the Year, is a truly magical venue to enjoy professional baseball, and you simply can't beat the convenience or location as a Bridgeport resident. 6. McLeany Hall, the Bridgeport City Hall. Joining Seaside Park and Beardsley Zoo in being listed in the National Register of Historic Places is the Bridgeport City Hall, renamed the McLeany Hall after the former Bridgeport mayor, Jasper McLeany. This Bridgeport revered edifice was constructed in 1854, designed in the Greek Revival style and built to resemble a temple. Adding to the enduring allure and fame of this classic Bridgeport building is that Abraham Lincoln once gave a resounding speech here. 7. Bridgeport's Black Rock section. Another renowned neighborhood within the vast and eclectic constellation of Bridgeport's communities is the city's illustrious and widely heralded Black Rock community. Located in the southwestern section of Bridgeport, Black Rock offers a wondrous balance between being a predominantly residential area while simultaneously sporting a flourishing commercial section. Black Rock is made notable for its impressive array of eateries, including its legendary vegetarian restaurant and bookstore, Bloodroot, the venerated Black Rock Yacht Club, its Harbor View Market, sophisticated shops, boutiques, gourmet ice cream, and espresso establishments. Its cultural appeal is further buttressed by its art galleries and library, which recently went through a major high-tech related renovation, which benefits all Bridgeport residents. Black Rock residents, never one to take a back seat to other Fairfield County communities, are quick to point out that Black Rock is also listed on the National Register of Historic Places, the Black Rock Gardens Historic District, and the district itself. The enticing interplay between historic landmarks and major new developments taking place not only within Black Rock, but throughout Bridgeport creates the perfect harmony between the old and the new. 9. Pleasure Beach Island. What is also happening in Bridgeport that's very clear has been the much appreciated reopening of Pleasure Beach Island in all of its 2.5 miles of barrier beach beauty. Pleasure Beach is now accessible daily via the free ferry taxi service departing from the Seaview Avenue fishing pier. Pleasure Beach, once known for its amusements, now represents a refuge for wildlife and plants, all the more in keeping with Bridgeport being a true park city, one that its parks department is committed to ensuring. That being that Bridgeport residents get to enjoy all that the vigilant preservation of its natural beauty means for them. 10. Bridgeport Steel Point Development. Bridgeport is not only increasingly attracting residents due to its wide range of ever-increasing housing opportunities, but it has also been identified as one of the best places in America for the creation of a new and exciting major mixed-use development. And of course, we are referring to Steel Point, billed as New England's premier mixed-use urban waterfront development. Projected, upon completion, to include 800,000 square feet of retail, 200,000 square feet of commercial/office space, 300,000 square feet of hotel/meeting space, and a new 250,000 square feet marina, along with 1,000 to 1,500 residential housing units. Steel Point exemplifies how a historic area can be retrofitted to meet the needs of today's ever-evolving residents and real estate consumers. Steel Point Harbor, being developed in the historic Steel Point neighborhood of Bridgeport, will, without question, serve as the seminal catalyst for the continued revitalization as the city increasingly becomes a greater magnet for individuals and families who seek affordable lifestyles amidst an unending array of services and who want to be part of an impressively well-balanced and diverse community. Steel Point Harbor's first announced major tenant, most appropriately, will be Bass Pro Shops, who will establish an anchor store and marina, which is a perfect reminder of the nautical and historic significance of Bridgeport that this storied Bridgeport location embodies. As we close this Town Advisor Real Estate Town documentary of Bridgeport, Connecticut, it should be said that with over $1 billion being earmarked for just this one Bridgeport development alone, in a city already rich with university and college campuses, hospitals, major business and industry, world-class parks, enchanting Captain's Cove, convenient access to Long Island from the Port Jefferson Ferry, and access to New York and all of New England from its proximity to Interstate 95, and a thriving rail system, along with its close-knit communities and much more that could not be covered in this Real Estate Town documentary, we at Town Advisor believe that you will agree with Ben Sinnott that there is indeed something happening in Bridgeport, and it's very clear. Bridgeport, more than ever, is a bridge to a better life. Real Estate Town Documentaries presented by Town Advisor would like to thank Ben Sinnott and the residents of Bridgeport for their invaluable assistance in showcasing Bridgeport, Connecticut.